Aromatime Bistro presents Wine Time Live, hosted by the Hudson Valley's premier green certified entrepreneurs, Marcus and Jamie Giuliano. So grab a glass of your favorite vino, sit back, relax, and travel with them, sharing their passion discovering unique vineyards, outstanding wines, delicious food, and great adventure.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Marcus and Jamie here.
Hello, hello.
And welcome to Wine Time Live.
What number is it? 27. Perfect.
Episode
Welcome.
number 27, where it's about the adventure to the winery and not really so much the wine.
Yes.
But the wine's always good.
It sure is. So, we plan our trips around wineries, right?
We do. People are like, oh, enjoy your vacation.
And we're like, well, we're not really vacationing, but we are kind of vacationing. But it's all about going to wineries and building and forming relationships with the winery owners, the winemakers, and traveling through wine countries wherever it might be. So
it seems like fun, and it does seem like a vacation. But to the IRS, this is strictly business.
Absolutely, but it's definitely business. It's not that. It's definitely fun, but
it's
not
fun business.
But it's business.
It's fun business.
I told you next trip we go on, I need a beach for like a day.
And the
I don't even care if it's 2 hours.
And the last adventure we went to, which we're going to talk about now, last adventure we went to, the beach was there. We just didn't stop to the beach.
It was not a beach.
There's a beach up north. And next time we go, which is going to be in a few weeks, we will stop at the beach.
Okay.
I promise. And eat lobster.
Okay. No, I want to sit on a beach.
Want to sit on a beach?
I don't want to sit at a restaurant on a beach.
You want to lay?
I want to lay on a beach.
Sand, experience the sand.
I want hours of just reading a book, listening to a book. I don't care. I need relaxation. I don't want to be running around 24/7. That's all I'm saying. Even though I love what we do. I love the wineries. I love visiting, I love tasting, and I love what we do, but I just need a vacation for 2 hours. I don't care.
Okay. I understand that.
Anyway, so we just opened this awesome bottle, and
if I told you the grapes, you'd have no idea where we are.
So tell the grapes.
Tempranillo.
Yes.
Tempranillo, Merlot, and Cabernet. So Cabernet, 15%, 70% Tempranillo, and 15% Merlot. And somebody might say, oh, I think you might be in Spain. Tempranillo, 70%. Right. And yeah, Spain could have a little bit of Cabernet and a little bit of Merlot. I can see that in Spain. So I think you're in Spain. We're not.
You're not in Spain, but you're in a Spanish
culture.
Yes.
Spanish culture.
Spanish culture.
Okay, so we're in a brand new territory that we've never talked about on this show before. Brand new territory. And where are we, Jamie?
We are in Mexico, Baja California. So south of the border, south of San Diego, about 15 minutes over the border. It's about an hour and a half from San Diego in Mexico.
In Baja.
So in Baja.
Baja California.
They call it Baja California because it's attached to California. Well, I guess Mexico, the other side is attached to California too, but it's kind of a continuation of California.
I think if you said Baja, Mexico or Baja, California, people are going to know that you're in Baja.
Okay.
Or just say Baja.
Perfect.
Baja. So.
But they call it Baja California.
They all call it Baja. Yeah. And some people call Baja Mexico.
We're in the Valle de Guadalupe. The Valley of Guadalupe.
Yep, Valley de Guadalupe.
And we're actually south of Ensenada in a winery right now. Well, we're not there.
We're not there, but we're
going to talk about Palafox, which is a winery about an hour south of Ensenada.
Yep.
In an area that you would never know that there's wineries. In an area you'd never know there's grapes grown because it doesn't seem like that as you're driving down. Even though you see grapes and you see vineyards, you don't really. It's not really a.
So this is from Ojos Negros.
It's not like Italy when you drive. When you're driving, you just see vineyards for miles and miles and miles.
Right. So this is specifically from Ojos Negros, which is south of Ensenada. The big picture in that region is Valle de Guadalupe, which is the Guadalupe Valley. There's, I don't know how many wineries, and I don't want to misspeak, 50, 60, 70, 100 wineries in Valle de Guadalupe, which is their version of Napa Valley. Mm-hmm. So a little history before we jump into the winery. Yes, let's taste the wine. Oh, yes. So this region is very arid. extremely arid, very dry. You're basically growing grapes in the desert.
And over the mountain, though, there's the water, right? So, right, the water and the air, they were explaining, comes over that mountain.
The bruma, which is the air, they call it bruma, I guess, wind in Spanish. So bruma is what comes up the valley and brings in the colder air. It is a desert. It gets very hot. It's very arid. They have to tap into the water table. Now, the one winery we were at, they were up in, which we don't have their wine in stock yet. We hope to bring a bunch of new wine into Aroma Time from Mexico. The one winery is up in the backside of the ravine, and they had the best water supply in the valley. So
because it comes off the mountains there and down through the valley, so they kind of get the water first.
They were the first. They were first in line. This winery, not the winery we're talking about. So, but water's an issue down there. It's arid. They have to irrigate. They have to tap into the water. There's 60, 70 wineries in Valle de Guadalupe. Valle de Guadalupe is what the predominant region is in Mexico. Now, a little bit about Mexican
predominant
region.
Wine region.
Wine region in Mexico. Now, a little history of Mexican wine. People go, how long has Mexico been making wine? Is the first question.
Right, most people have never heard of Mexican wine.
They haven't.
They're like, I've never even heard of it. I didn't even know they made wine in Mexico.
And if you go to Cabo or something, you can buy Mexican wine in a restaurant, and it's expensive. It's not cheap.
Right.
So, but a lot of people will never take the plunge into Mexican wine because wine shop owners don't, restaurant owners don't, even Mexican restaurants don't take the plunge into Mexican wine, which is unfortunate. In San Diego, when we were eating at, they had a lot of Mexican wine in the Mexican restaurant. We're like, oh wow, it's only an hour and a half away. So Mexico, as far as a wine culture and a wine country and a wine producer, the 1500s, Cortez comes in, the Spanish missionaries come in from Spain. They bring grapes. They start planting everywhere. They go from the East Coast to the West Coast. Of course, it took them a while to get to the West Coast. The oldest winery in all of North America, that means Mexico, Canada, and the United States, all of North America.
Is in Mexico.
1597. In central Mexico, and it's still operating. So that is a very old wine culture. Then it spread into Baja. The missionaries brought it to Baja, Mexico, Baja, California, and then it went up into Napa. That's the progression of wine in California. So they predated California wine. So that being said, Mexico has had a longer start than us on wine. They grow every grape imaginable.
There's 140 grape varietals grown in Mexico, which is unbelievable, right? I mean, to me, that is crazy that there's so many different wines being grown there, or grapes being grown there.
One place, Casamagione, remember how many he grew?
114.
114, yeah, out of 140 he grows. He's been there 42 years. What you're finding in this region, folks, is you're finding people from France, people from Italy, people from all over that are coming down into that region to make their mark in the wine world. Just like upstate New York, just like the Finger Lakes. You get a lot of this European influence because they say, hey, this is untapped territory. There's no strict rules and regulations of what you can grow.
There's rules and regulations on growing
safety and stuff.
But there's no rules and regulations on what kind of wine you can make and what grapes you can use.
What grapes, yeah. So what's happening is the number one grape down there is your favorite grape.
Zinfandel. My favorite grape.
I threw you a Nebbiolo.
So I was like, what are you talking about, my favorite grape? I was like, they don't really, I mean, there is some Zinfandel, but not much. But Nebbiolo, which is not my favorite grape, from Italy, and that's from Barolo, Brunello, that kind of stuff.
Barolo, Barbaresco.
Brunello
is Sangiovese. So in Italy, it's lighter. It appears lighter, but it's still a big wine, Nebbiolo. Mexican, they call it Mexican Nebbiolo, and it's big, ripe, and rich.
It is so much bigger than Italian Nebbiolo. Like, it is rich and bold, and I love it. I love it down there. It's really, really good. And really, really rich. A lot of flavors.
We're going to have a lot of episodes talking about Mexico. Yes. So I think that was a good introductory for Mexico now.
Absolutely, because there's so many things that we can talk about Mexico, and we'll continue talking about them. But in the meantime,
let's talk about Jaime. Jaime Palafox.
Let's talk about Palafox, yes.
Yep, Jaime Palafox. So Jaime, they've been there, I think, 30, 40 years making wine in Ojos Negros, which is a region south of Ensenada. There's actually 4, 5, even 6 valleys in that region that grow, but Valle de Guadalupe is the most predominant. They're the ones closest north, or most north, closest to the U.S. They're the ones that are more like Napa, and it's amazing. We'll talk all about it in future episodes. So Palafox, his father started the winery, and they've been making wine for a couple of decades down there. Jaime is the owner now.
I got to tell you, so there's a lot of passion that we see when it comes to winery owners, winemakers. But I got to tell you, Jaime had such energy. And it's not that we don't see it all the time, but the energy that he has about his farm and picking up the soil and showing us the vineyard is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I mean, very rarely have we had that. I shouldn't say very rarely, but we see that not as often as we meet the winemakers, but we see that passion in him for the actual vineyards itself and for the wine. So it's like a combination of both together that is just unreal.
And he has another job. He has a day job.
He does.
He's an attorney. I don't know how much time.
And I guess that's the wrong way of saying it, that they don't have that kind of passion like Jaime has. They all have that passion, but just the way he explained things and the way he brought us around the vineyard and we walked through the vineyard.
He explained that the garden area was his kids' garden too.
Right.
This is my kids too. He goes, and it was beautiful, this beautiful 400-year oak tree. And he was like, this is my kids' yard too. And this is why. So we get there, we're walking around, we meet Karen, his assistant, and she walks us down into the garden. And we're just walking around, and all of a sudden we hear, Marcus, Jamie. And we look, and he's like almost like running to us.
Right. Like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you.
And
like we were old friends.
Like we're old friends.
Like we knew each other.
Hugged us and
forever.
everything. First time meeting him.
Yeah.
Hugged us and everything. And we were supposed to only be there for what?
We were only supposed to be there for 2 hours.
2 hours.
And we were supposed to go visit 2 other wineries that afternoon. We ended up staying all day until about 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
So we got there at like 11.
He wouldn't let us leave.
And he would not let us leave. He had some distributors that he was showing around and he was tasting and doing lunch with. And he invited us to stay and we got to taste wine with them and drink with them more. We had a driver that day. So we were like, okay, that's fine.
It was the one day we had a driver a few days, but it was the one day we were like, let's just get a driver, take us down there. And
I'm glad we did that.
I'm so glad we did that.
Yeah.
So now the distributor comes from Mexico City with 12 wine reps or something, or 10 wine reps. And he's like, you're staying for lunch, right? And it was a late lunch. He goes, staying for lunch. And we're like, yeah, let me go talk to our driver and make sure it's okay with Tony, with Tony Baloney.
Tony Baloney.
So I go talk to Tony Baloney. Tony's like, you're perfectly fine. You're totally fine. And so we sat down with the company. We sat next to the owner of the company. And a couple of the sales reps are at our table. And the marlin pate, all the octopus.
It was the guacamole. It was unbelievable.
The food is outstanding in Mexico at these wineries,
It
like top notch. So Jaime goes, well, I know you guys do group trips, and that's part of the reason you're here. He goes, you have to come here.
And we have to do lunch.
We have to do lunch like this. He goes, you tell me what you want. You want oysters, shrimp, lobster, whatever you want. We will throw together a huge lunch for your guests here, and we'll make it happen. You tell me what you want. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. If this is what we want, and we'll go there. For it's probably gonna be a 4-hour trip to that winery. I think at least.
I think it's gonna be an all-day
He's gonna keep us there all day. And that's just his hospitality.
We have to plan it. That's his hospitality, and that's why I say it's like above and beyond.
Yeah.
It's just the way he is, and he just encases you and captivates you, and just wants to take care of you and shows you around and gives you tons of wine.
And there were many other owners that were like that. Ernesto, there were a lot of other.
A lot of them are like
Mrs.
that.
Miller, showing us around her house.
Yes.
So the hospitality in Italy is amazing. When you go to Italy, it's like they don't let you leave. They this that. Mexico was the same. The same. And we don't. There's not many places that we can say that the hospitality is always like that. And everywhere we go, it was like that in Mexico. So I got to say, we've decided we're going to do a group trip. We are going to do a group trip. Through VIP Winery Vacations to Mexico. So look for the details for that. We have an upcoming trip to the Finger Lakes in New York. Yes.
In November of 2021. Not sure where you're watching this and what time of the year it is, but we're listening to it. But yeah. You travel with VIP Winery Vacations.
Yep.
We get top notch every time.
Yep. And we're going to go visit places like Jaime, where Jaime's going to run out and say,
absolutely.
Marcus, Jamie, welcome back.
Welcome VIP Winery Vacations. Welcome everybody. We're so glad to have you here. So that trip is going to be April 2022. To Mexico, to Valle de Guadalupe and Ojo Negros. Mm-hmm. So we'll go that region. We're going to be eating lobster on the beach, lobster burritos. And a lot of Mexican food. And I got to tell you, the Mexican food there is phenomenal. There's a place that does amazing tostadas. We're going to take you to
Ceviche La Guaranese.
Ceviche, yes. We're going to take you to
Dona Estela's, best breakfast restaurant in all of Mexico. Yeah. We're going to go to Fauna, best restaurant in all of Central America, and that's at a winery, at Bruma. named after the winds that roll up the coast there, up in the valley of Bruma.
We have an amazing trip planned. It is going to be amazing. So
Hawks. One of the vineyards we're at has hawks for management of like groundhogs and stuff.
Yeah.
They send the hawks out to go
to manage the vineyards and to manage the animals on the vineyard.
Yep. So they don't want too many. I guess the groundhogs or something dig into the vines.
Yeah, I
and
don't
they
know if
ruin
it's called
them.
the groundhog.
I'm not sure what the
there,
animal's
but
called, but it's an animal like that.
Yeah.
So prairie dog,
Whatever it
groundhog,
is,
something.
yeah.
So the hawks go out and actually go in and they deploy them to bring back they have to go get their own food. They have to go provide their own meals, and they do a great job doing that.
Yes,
so
and protecting the vineyards as well.
and the tour, one of the tours that we're doing, will have that on the tour at El Cielo.
Yes.
The hotels are top notch. Everything. We're going to talk about that more and more episodes as we.
But we just wanted to give you a little introduction on Mexico. This wine is phenomenal. We'll probably have, I think this is our last bottle.
It is our last
so
bottle.
We will have this back in stock very soon. And we are going to have more Mexican wines here at Aroma Time in the Hudson Valley. I'm not sure where you're listening or watching us from, but we'll have more Spanish wines here. And we'll be talking more about
more Mexican wines.
I said Spanish, sorry. Mexican wines soon. So I guess that's it for tonight.
Yep. Follow us, VIP Winery Vacations, on Instagram, on Facebook, Aroma Time Bistro, because this is all brought to you because of Aroma Time Bistro, our restaurant since 2003 here in the Hudson Valley in Ellenville, New York. Aroma Time, THYME, like the herb, bistro.com.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.